about 20 minutes, we're going to talk with Shawn Windsor because I want to find out if he could possibly have been serious with this absolutely ridiculous column that he wrote in the Detroit Free Press. We'll talk to him about some other things, but this is really something from July 5th. And if he's kidding, I want to find out if he's kidding. And if he's serious, I want to find out if he's serious. I'll explain what I mean next on The Score. All right, so I was handed this by Nick Shepkowski, and he just said, read this, and I did. And I'm going to cut out some of this stuff. It was written by Shawn Windsor of the Detroit Free Press. And he said, this is a plea to those well-meaning parents and rec league coaches who are essentially bribing kids to play a sport with treats. And he quotes Kobe Bryant here talking about participation trophies. And we know all the warmed-over, cliched arguments about participation trophies, which I think are bad arguments because the kids don't want participation trophies anyway. And he says the real reason our kids are getting soft, the real scourge of youth athletics, juice boxes. Yes, that's right. Though what I'm talking about here isn't simply juice. Sometimes it's cookies or yogurt-covered pretzels or fruit snacks, which are neither fruit nor snacks, unless you reboot by popping red-colored thimbles of congealed corn syrup into your mouth. I'm with him on that. Because I'm also talking about mini ice cream sandwiches, cartons of chocolate milk, bags of Twizzlers, and all the other sugary concoctions that fill up coolers and tote bags before they're hauled off to Little League practice, to youth football practice, to nearly every outdoor sport played when it's warm by 10-year-olds. No, this isn't a screed against sugar addiction and the rise of children's diabetes. It's a plea to those well-meaning parents and rec league coaches who are essentially bribing kids to play in a sport with treats. This is the real source of entitlement. This is what's making us soft. And we're going to talk to him about this, about whatever his data comes from, about softness or hardness or relative, where it is on the Mohs scale. I don't know. Said not participation trophies or fourth-place ribbons. At least those speak to effort and competitive risk. At least those serve as a symbol of losing, which can be turned into a call for determination. But juice boxes, come on, it's a tool for coddling. Running, jumping, throwing, catching. Water and perhaps the occasional banana or orange slice should be enough. The treats are best left at home. Your kid doesn't need them after practice, after games, between innings at halftime. Mine didn't. Yet I had to watch them gorge, and when the carefully crafted schedule dictated, provide the offending haul myself. Yes, I protested. Yes, I was shamed. Snacks? What's wrong with those? Well, nothing in a vacuum, yet outside of the playing fields, it's what they represent. As if the sport itself, as if learning sportsmanship, as if learning to exist within a team weren't enough. Trophies are what we make of them, and there's value in the process of learning how to win and lose. It's up to us to discover motivation where and when we can. If Kobe Bryant had used his platform to rail against the true plague of youth sports because our kids will survive without them. Now, I can't tell if this is tongue-in-cheek or not. All I can tell you is I hope for damn sure it is, because that is insane. Patently, if truly meant seriously, that somehow our kids are lesser for having a post-game snack, and if that constitutes bribery,
I'm sitting here thinking, as for some of us who've been in the business where you have to write a column at least 4 or 5 times a week.
I'm there.
Yeah, and you stare at the screen and you don't know what to write about. And so you do this. That's the only explanation I can give for that column, because it doesn't make a lot of sense.
This segment's brought to you by Shell. You deserve to be rewarded today at Shell with instant gold status. Just join the Fuel Rewards program and save on every fill every day at Shell. Join now at fuelrewards.com/gold. Yeah, there's another aspect to this piece here about the snacks being the scourge of youth sports. Chocolate milk. I take issue with that. You go to weight rooms across the NFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, major college sports, any place where there is weight training and nutritional expertise, you will see refrigerators filled with chocolate milk, because chocolate milk is awesome. And it is highly, highly, highly recommended nutritionally by athletic trainers, by strength and conditioning coaches. You've got, after a good hard workout, and this started at Mite Hockey with my kids. They specifically said, you've got 20 minutes to have that window in which you can reuptake protein and get the electrolytes and the good carbs you need. And it wasn't anything fancy. It wasn't this fake muscle milk or anything like that. It was just simple, low-fat chocolate milk, to the point where even the people from Nesquik were at McFetridge giving it out for free. It was sort of co-branded that they had a big Nesquik banner because the coaches were so on board with it. If you look at USA Hockey Magazine, there are ads from the Dairy Council with NHL players with a chocolate milk mustache. So if you want to say what you want about fruit snacks, I'm with you, but don't lump chocolate milk into this.
The whole thing to me, and again, I don't understand where it comes from. I don't understand what's wrong with kids having a snack. I'm sorry. And I don't understand where there's a connection to that in their sports, their youth sports. I mean, one has nothing to do with the other, and I don't even feel the need to defend the nutritional aspect of it. So what if a kid has a snack during the game? It doesn't make him a bad athlete or take away from the game.
Or somehow make him soft.
Yeah,
or her soft.
Come on. I mean,
we'll find out. We're gonna let's get to the bottom of this as soon as we can, because next up, Shawn Windsor is going to join us, and we're going to see what of this is real, and then find out what we if we have to have some speaks with this guy. That's next on The Score. Hi, Shawn.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me today.
Good. So before we get into this, let's just put it out as transparently as possible. As far as the snacks thing, is this tongue in cheek or are you serious?
Yeah, both.
You got to pick a lane.
No, it was. Look, it started out as a column about participation trophies based on what Kobe Bryant had said last week with his experience with his kids. I think getting a fourth place trophy.
Yep.
And I wanted to write a column about that, and just decided to have a little fun with the snacks. I was, my kids were in youth sports forever, and I coach AAU basketball, so I had a lot of experience. And I just remember are parents getting irritated with the snacks. Nobody liked the calendar. Nobody wanted to do it, or most didn't want to do it, and nobody ever wanted to be the one not to do it. So I was just trying to have a little fun with that.
I see. I agree with you, having been the parent who has had to figure out the snacks and what to bring and how, and then because for me the issue was allergies, and some kids vegan and some kid is ovo lacto vegetarian, and one kid's allergic to everything, and you didn't want to get anything wrong, so you have to make sure everything is acceptable. But where I'm curious is you seem to take as a given that kids are, in your idea, kids are getting soft. What's your evidence of that?
No. I don't think kids are getting soft at all. It was a play off of the idea of the participation trophies making us soft.
Okay.
In other words, that those aren't making us soft, right? If anything, it's the snacks. So it was kind of a play on that.
Okay, because I'm just the other thing too is you say you coach basketball, and I learned this as a hockey parent. Chocolate milk is not a snack. That chocolate milk is actually one of the most accepted, if most recommended, replacement proteins out there for some of the athletes.
It is. I mean, it's interesting you say that, and I don't want to get off on a tangent on that. There's some discussion about that now, and I'm just talking about when I'm covering college weight programs, and some guys believe in it and some don't, and you wonder how much the milk industry is behind that. I'm with you. I remember when Mike Barwas, who was Rich Rodriguez' weight training guy, the head coach of the University of Michigan, when he was here, he had big, huge coolers of chocolate milk. So it was, and this was probably, 7-8 years ago, it was all the rage. And I know it still is, and it's fine. And, hey, we have chocolate milk in our house.
Well, because when I played youth soccer, it was sort of the start of the whole orange slices thing. When we're talking in the mid '80s, around there, when the sideline orange slices became popular, and because I don't know, that's when they still believe, well, if you drink too much water, you get cramps, and we know that's really not true. But they always encourage us to have orange slices. So there's some of these things that probably don't necessarily count as snacks.
Right, and that's why I wrote the occasional orange slice or banana. It's good for potassium. No, look, my experience, and I'm just going based on my experience, and then also, talking to parents over the years, what parents started not liking was a Tuesday night baseball practice where there were coolers full of all sorts of juice boxes and Capri Suns, and then bags of Twizzlers, and then another cooler with mini ice cream bars and all of that. And it depended on the family, obviously, right?
Right.
There were obviously some families did. But in just the pressure to have to do that for an hour and 15-minute long practice, that was not around a mealtime, that just felt like a little bit of indulgence to a lot of parents. Now, admittedly, my kids are in their upper teens now, so I haven't been around the youth, like the 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids in a while. But that was my experience, and it's funny because the column has gotten a lot of mixed reaction. But there have been plenty of parents that have emailed me and said thank you. Thank you. So because it can be a little bit much.